We share. Oh, take a ride.
My name is Waleola Apata. I was born over 60 years ago in Ibadan. Ibadan is about 100 kilometers north of Lagos in Nigeria. Went to my elementary school, secondary school, Adventist at Ede, and also did what they call technical school, technical college in Nigeria at Oyo for 3 years. That was in 1980 to 83. I studied painting and decoration. 2 years after that, I proceeded to go to United States of America, where I studied fine art at the university, first at the Parkland College in Champaign, Illinois, and then my first degree is from Illinois State University in Norma, Illinois. Then went back to Champaign, Illinois, and got my master's degree in fine art. My concentration was in watercolor. You know, Americans can do a lot of concentration in some work. So I did watercolor from University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. Came back home in 2005. From then is the highlight of what I want to let people know about me. More people know more about me, I would say. In 2005, I came home to Nigeria. Actually, I came to Babcock University. Not necessarily wanted to work, but I came just to see the progress. I heard Adventist had a university in Nigeria, a full-fledged university, so I wanted to see what it looks like from the old theology school that I knew in Elisha. So I came to check the place out. Fortunately, the vice chancellor of the school at the time was my Bible teacher at Adventist Grammar School, Professor Adekunle Alalade. So spoke with him. That time I was married, so my wife, who's an American, came a few months later to check with me. We decided to come home. She decided to follow me back home to see what she can do. She's a special education person. She speaks few languages. She also speaks sign languages. So she's very versed in things like helping disabled, less privileged. That's her area of call. So we came back together. Like I said, I came early. About 3 months later, she came with me to check. So we were at Babcock University, in Elisha at the time, to check out how we can come in. We saw it as an avenue. She's an Adventist. We saw it as an avenue to give back to our own. Let me put it like that. Our own. So she went back. We decided, okay, yeah, definitely we're going to do something. We're going to come back and do something. And if not at all, we work with Babcock. If not working there, we'll work with them. So she went back and to get things ready. I'm already at home, so I'm waiting on her. Not quite. I can't really remember. Not quite. Maybe a few months, 3 months, 4 months. Getting ready to come back home. To come back and join me in Nigeria. Usually I'll call her on the weekends and Sabbath evening, 7 hours different. So I'll call her. She's probably in church. She's a chorister. So that Friday, I called her, and she wasn't answering me. So, those days, GSM is not something. Cell phone wasn't. I'm talking 2005. It wasn't that everywhere at that time, even in the US. So even though she has one, the connection might not be the greatest thing at that. So I called home phone to connect with her. I called the cell phone. She wasn't answering. So I waited for some time. At this time, it was getting late, 7 hours. So I kept calling. So not too long. I said, okay, you know what? She's not answering me. But that time I was panicking. There's no way she won't call me back. I've called the cell phone. I've called the home phone. So I waited. I went to sleep. In the morning, I called. She didn't answer. That's late in American hour now. She didn't answer. So I knew something must have happened. Not necessarily bad thing, but maybe the phone or connection was terrible, or she lost her phone or something like that. So fast forward, maybe about after 2 o'clock Nigerian time. So I decided to call again. No answer. I called my mother and our parents. They usually switch the phone off. So they already switched their own phone the Sabbath hour. So I couldn't get to them. Now I have to call the church. So I called the church. Now, at that time, we live in a place called St. Petersburg, Florida. But we attend the church in Tampa. That's about maybe 25 kilometers across the bay. So we liked, because of the type of church, we enjoy the service there. So we rather attend the church. So I called that church. It's a different county. They can't just cross over into different counties, different local government. Let me put it out. So they can't cross to the other local government, and the city police can't cross into. So they have to get a permission. Now it's getting late. So by the time they got there to get the permission, the church answered the phone. Somebody went there to get the permission from Tampa to connect with the police in St. Petersburg and take the authority to go into our house. They got in there. She was in coma. At this time, she must have been in coma for over 7-8 hours. This is a long time. So at that time, she was already brain dead. Now, brain dead simply means she is breathing, the blood is still flowing through her veins, but she is a vegetable. She cannot do anything. She can't even stand on her feet. She had to be taken to the hospital. So she was pretty much paralyzed. Couldn't do anything, couldn't talk back. She has her eyes wide open. That's what the brief explanation of non-medical that I know of a brain dead was. So she was taken to hospital. I called. I was given this story, and as you can imagine, not a pleasant. By the time I spoke to the doctor, they gave me that word, brain dead. But they kept her alive, breathing, with a lot of gadgets. So I couldn't quickly go back because it won't make any difference. We already established that we're coming back here. So I was asked that do I want to take her like that, and being the legal person to her, I'm the only one that could be asked to. If I would rather have her like that and take her home. So that was the greatest decision I have to make, so that I can't take her. So she expired according to their word. She died at the hospital. So I I couldn't remember. I couldn't even remember what I did at the time, but it was that bad. So I have to pick myself up and then say, you know what, I'm gonna stay home. I'm not gonna go back. I'm gonna stay home. I'm not even trying to go back anywhere anymore. I'm going to stay home and then find my feet here. So I decided to join Babcock University at the time. That was 2000, late 2006. It was different administration at that time. So I started working with them. I was asked to do graphics work, and the new administration of Babcock University at that time has a vision of rebranding and actually branding university. A new thing in Nigeria at that time, to brand an institution. So I was fully involved in designing a new logo for the school, and then I was given a full employment also at the time, and being a graphic artist, I was also involved in some few classes at the mass comm department. There were a few subjects at that time that involved graphics. I was taking it. I remarried again, 2008. I remarried in Nigeria. I married Nigerian, and then things started going well with me. I was employed full-time at Babcock. I was living in Lagos. My wife at the time was also working in Lagos. We had a child in 2009, and things were going pretty good, I would say. You know, she had a full employment at the time. I had a full employment. And Lagos is not far from Babcock University, so sometimes I go home daily. Sometimes if I'm too tired, I wait till weekends. I stay home. So fast forward, I had another big disappointment in my life. This time was 2016. My wife at the time was pregnant. You know, prior to that time, we lost a baby. So about 2013, we lost a baby. So she had to stay back, you know, and relax her body. So 2016, she was pregnant again, and then she was having complication with the pregnancy, and then October 26, 2016, she had that morning she was bleeding, and I took her to the hospital, Babcock University Hospital, and then they had to do a quick procedure, and unfortunately again, we lost her. We lost the baby. That is another blow in my life. I couldn't get myself together. At that time, I have a little girl to raise by myself, and then also to get myself together and then continue with life. When I lost my wife, Babcock, my daughter was with us. So at that time, you know, she was about 7 years old. So I had people running around me, but I'm going to mention somebody that was really involved. There was a woman in the town, Elijah Funlayo Gbadamoshi. She came to me and she took the child from me, knowing that a man can't really do much with a young girl. So that gave me space to think of what I want to do in my life at that time. And also was loneliness for me, because I was alone in the house at this time. Nobody to bother me. My daughter is not there to say, Daddy, I want to eat, and Daddy, I want to do this. I want to go to school. I have to take her to school. This woman was there. She took the child, and my daughter would come. If I want to see her, I would go to her shop to see her. She lived in the same town with me in Lishon, Raymond, where Babcock University is in Nigeria. So she took their child from me, helped me out with everything that a mother needs to do with a child, a girl child. Now, meanwhile, I'm at home alone. I have to cook for myself. But that time I was deep in, plunging into depression. Actually, I have to really do some I have to go to some counseling in here in Babcock, the counseling department there at the hospital. So I was talked to. I have a time that I have section with them there. Sometimes I have a section with my daughter there. When I had those losses, not only I went to depression, I almost resulted to start drinking again. In Ghana, in 2017, I was drinking heavily, but nobody knew that I was drinking. That was it. I was in Ghana, and when we go to Ghana, usually fly in early in the morning, 7 o'clock, I'll start drinking. There was one time we got to Ghana in the morning, I started drinking from 7 o'clock in the morning. And I've developed high blood pressure. So from thinking, which I'm still managing till now. So at that time I was drinking heavily, but nobody knew. I won't drink to work, I won't come to work drunk anyway. But when I go back I will get drunk to stupor to get my head off and wake up again and think, let me run 8 hours and get myself. So I was in Ghana, get drunk, drinking for and I left my medication, I forgot my medication in Nigeria. So when I got to the hotel, few hours, maybe late in the afternoon, my legs were swollen. I couldn't wear my shoes. Everything was swollen. My hands started swelling, but my feet were already swollen. I couldn't wear my shoes. Thank God for Kofi Awo, one of our students from Babcock. He had moved back to Ghana. He was raised in Nigeria, so I called him up and he said, "Uncle, what's going on?" I said, "This is what is, I don't have a medical insurance. I can't walk into to pharmacy and get my medication, even though I know what they are. They can't. It's a prescription. It's a prescribed medication. Nobody's going to sell it to me." So thank God for that young man. He came back. He has to help me with appointment. I couldn't get an appointment immediately. I had to wait till the next day. Now, things were getting bad. A lot of tests were run on me. The alcohol already started seeping into my kidney. So thank God for life. I had to stop completely. You see that there's no you stop drinking gradually anymore. You see that I stop or I give up life. At this time I have a friend, a good friend of mine, that we were in US together. We grew up together, elementary school together, and then we live, his parents' house at the time was just next building to my parents' house. So we're pretty much like a brother. So he came back also. He has been back, I don't know. So we link up again 2017. 2017, I believe. I can't remember, maybe late 2016. And he told me, look, let's start a business. So we started a business, and the name of the business, I was pretty much in my life, I've always very, very involved in sports. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I didn't go to university in Nigeria was because I was too much involved in football, and I wanted to play football so bad. But my father being an elder, I can't play on Sabbath. So sometimes, it's an embarrassment for me. So I'm just giving you. So I'm pretty much. I did athletics a lot. That one don't involve Sabbath. So when my friend came back, knowing me growing up that I'm fully into sports, he called me up that he has a business that he wants to run, and it has to do with sports. He wants to start, not an agent, but he's not a sport person, but he has a business knowledge. So he called me up to be part of the business in Lagos. So he called me up, so I went with him, and then we started this business. I definitely had to do a logo. So in 2017, we started our journey of the business. We went to Ghana, pretty much in West Africa. We touched every single, except for maybe Guinea-Bissau and then Liberia and Sierra Leone. We went every other country in West Africa to get inspiring athletes, young athletes that we can sign up and nurture so that we can send to this Western world, either school in the US or Europe. So we went around, and the business was really going on. We even went up to like Tunisia in 2018. 2018, we also went to Qatar for the World Cup. To Russia for the World Cup, excuse me. On our way back, we stopped in Qatar. And then things started going really, really, really well for me. Like I said, it was my childhood friend, more like a brother to me. And he depended on me. The company depended on me for a lot of things. I'm pretty much involved in sports. Some of my childhood friends or people that I played ball with in the 80s and late 70s and the 80s, they're the one in the management of Nigerian sports today. So some of them are I could walk into their office, or they knew I'm back in the country, so they were able to support the run of the business and the sporting business. So what we did that was different, was we were also spinning things into business. Like when we went to Ghana, we did sports, we did business, so things were moving. And then I start picking up myself mentally, and should I say, some money were coming in our currency. We went to South Africa to collaborate. We established an office in South Africa that we can run from South Africa to the regional area of South Africa. Southern Africa, we're able to establish a company, the same company in South Africa, with an office in South Africa. So we also have in Lagos that we were running the business simultaneously. So in the recent time, in the last few months, we came up with an idea of having an expo in a place called Zanzibar. Zanzibar is in the peninsula of eastern southern part of Africa, as an island there, next to to Tanzania, and we have that expo. We call it Festac Africa. Now, for some people, so people that remember Festac is the Black Africa World and Black Festival of Art and Culture in Nigeria that was staged in 1977. I was a teenager, I was a full-fledged teenager, so I remember everything. Schools were shut down in the cities, Ibadan and Lagos and Port Harcourt at the time. There was no Abuja at the time. So all of us that were schooling in those areas, we were glued to the TV and we knew everything. So we are doing something similar, but this time, just to let you know how involved I am these days in a lot of things that has to do with youth and sports and the culture and growing the culture of Africa and the business side of it, because without the business and entertainment, people mix it up sometimes. So we were able to establish the entertainment and the business and spin everything around the culture of the individual area that we are. So in 2022, this year, we're going to host something similar or even more. And my friend Yinka Abioye, the childhood friend that called me up to join him with the sporting and branding system, also was an excellent timing. So at this time, me being very involved in sport, it was easy for me to just, divert all my energy and pull it into this sports thing. So that was how I got myself up to do things that needed to be done at the time. I had people around me, the woman that I mentioned, my friend Yinka, and then the whole community actually rallied around me, but especially those two people, because one was able to take care of my child for me with no cost and with all the love that needed to be given, and my friend was able to come into my life. At this time, I have all the energy, I have all the time, I have all the support, I have all the drive to go back into the sport, and I'll start doing things with young people, almost like I'm reliving myself in all those young people that I met all over in Ghana, in Mali, and then in Senegal. I was almost like I'm living myself in their life. So those were the top, those are the areas that got me back into myself, and I was able to start rolling things and doing things that I love to do, and also involving people's life at the same time, and young people's life at the same time. Now, the reason why I've not remarried, I have a child. This time I have a young child that she has to accept the person anyway, because my child now moved with my older sister in Ibadan. She lives with my older sister in Ibadan. So, but I have not been able to get I was dating. I've been dating people. I've been seeing people. Actually, I'm very involved now. But one of the reasons why I couldn't get married right away is because of my daughter, and she needs to accept who I'm going to marry. So whenever she makes a comment, I see that I have to involve her it's not about just me anymore. If it's just about me, I would have married anybody that I think is compatible. It has to be compatible with me. Also have to be able to pick up. You have to marry me with a child, and that's just one of the reasons why I didn't get married away. In essence, I'm telling someone now, you know, when you have challenges like this, don't go resort into I'm going to do a quick fix about it, or I'm going to just, it's all about me. Listen, life is not about one person. No man is an island. If you hurt yourself, you might not die. You become a burden to so many people. They have to take care of you. So I thought about things like that. Like, you know, what if I do not die and I have to start, my friends and my family has to start taking care of me. I have to go through dialysis. Where would I be staying? Who is going to take care of me? I won't be, no woman is going to even marry somebody that is going through dialysis or something like that. So I had to just stay back. And then also, I went to depression. I went to counseling with my daughter at that time. Now all this has to do with worries and anxiety of life, or what's going to happen, and more especially what I did wrong at the time was want to do a quick fix about life, you know, get things done, you know, drink it out, and you know, the only thing I did not do at that time is I don't smoke, but I don't do drug, but I was heavily drinking, you know, to the point that I knew I wasn't going to die. I would have been a burden to other people. And like I said, I have a young girl to take care of. And then, you know, when things like that happen in life, that you think you are the tail of a life, and then something has happened to you. The scripture says nothing that has happened to a man such that is common to men. You know, I key into that message in the Corinthians, that nothing that is happening to me now that has not happened to somebody, and there's always a way, and that's what the scripture says. There is a way. So what happened to me was I'm blessed with people. Friends came in, and I was able to release myself. I was able to let go, and I was able to tell my worries to people that I saw that came into my life. Like the lady, I could have told her she's a Muslim. I could have said, no, I don't want my child to stay with a Muslim. But when you see genuine in people, you let go your problem. And these are people that came around to support me, and I was able to let go. My friends came in at that time. He didn't know what happened. He just saw his friend, the old friend, let's do things together. I was able to surrender, to let go all these things. Those are the areas where I think I was blessed with being able to completely let go everything and take those help as they come. How little they are, how insignificant they might be to some other people. At that time, they were much significant to my life. I was able to embrace the help that that they brought to me at the time. Nothing was insignificant to me at that time, as little as people bringing me food. So those are the things that I saw that it's important when something completely out of hand happened to you, especially someone like me. It happened twice. The first time I was able to get out of it quickly, but the second time I was able to establish myself, and then it was like a low blow to me. But being able to just completely let go and been open to people and talk to people and let them come into my life and pick up little pieces. I did not stay back or reject any help that came to me. Everybody was willing, and I was able to accept them. That's the way I went through those trial time that I had. This is my story. I hope you get inspired.